Roadrunners Hall of Fame, Class of 2025, Tara Mickelson. Tara played at Wheat Ridge High School in Colorado before she started her collegiate career at Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. She earned all-conference honors with the Mastodons, and after 2 seasons, Tara was ready to come back home.
Well, Tara played for an incredible high school program at Wheat Ridge High School, and of course I knew her coach Eric Larson and was a good friend of mine and really involved in helping Joan restart the program. So Wheat Ridge High School in general was on my radar. So yeah, she reached out, and of course I was elated. Let's add another bat to the lineup, why not?
Tara came into Metro State as a catcher, but the Roadrunners already had a sturdy Lauren Heinlein behind the plate. So she took off the catcher's gear and found an open spot at third base, where she thrived defensively.
She did her work, she was well respected on the team, and the interactions were, I'm here to help the team. I'm a team first person. Boy, Tara just embraced that role, I think, and it's harder than most people think.
Tara hit a total of 7 home runs at IPFW, but would become one of the most prominent home run hitters in MSU Denver history after leading the country with 25 in her senior season. She is still second all-time in round trippers with 47 despite only playing in 2 seasons.
We had talked about it, but I think it was a fall scrimmage, and there was a particular at-bat, and I said, you're gonna have to knock that off, You're gonna have to force that pitcher to bring you a hitter's pitch. And I think that there I saw like a switch in her.
2010 was a season to remember for the Roadrunners, as they had a magical run toward the RMAC Tournament Championship and toward the National Championship, reaching the College World Series. And of course, Tara was a big part of that playoff push.
Her and Janessa going back-to-back in the tournament is a really great core memory for me, but another huge core memory that I have was her 13 pitch at bat in game 1 of the Supers, and she drew a walk. We were down 1-0 to Wayne State, and she drew a walk. So that's the 2-strike mentality, I'm telling you. They weren't afraid, like, so what, I get down 2 strikes, I can battle. She battled her way on, and then Janessa came up with the 2-run home run to win game 1. So that at-bat is legendary in my mind, and I still talk about it to my current teams. For 15 years I've been trying to get them to understand that, it's just such a game of inches, and she really showed that.
Tara is still renowned in the Roadrunners record book. She is 6th all-time with a .384 batting average, 1st in slugging percentage, 7th in runs batted in, and 2nd in home runs. In her 2 years, she helped the program win 2 RMAC regular season championships and 2 RMAC tournament championships.
Being a catcher, she had an incredible skill set with her visual skill set. And so there was one time we were really getting deep in the weeds, and this was pretty early on before we were really studying the visual and cognitive relationship, and I think she was just really gifted in that. And I'd say, Tara, how are you reading that? And she'd say, well, Coach, I saw the back of the hand, so I knew it was a flip change. Because she had been trained as a catcher, she understood those tells and those cues, and I think her visual skill set was so above, what a lot of people had at that time.
After her playing career, she would become an assistant coach with MSU Denver, earn a head coaching job with fellow conference foe Colorado School of Mines, and is currently in her 4th year as the head coach with the Christian Brothers in Memphis, Tennessee.
So what's interesting is my degree's in math, Tara's degree's in math. The game itself lends itself to people who have a high level of focus, a high level of focus on processes, and so I kind of saw that teacher in her, and I saw that mathematical brain. Now we know there's so much data surrounding the game and how we can kind of use that and understand it and use it to our advantage. Tara, I'm so happy for you. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Another time, because the team is in, but I'm so proud of you. I wish I could be there, but congratulations on this well-deserved honor, and welcome to the club.
Tara Mickelson, Roadrunners Hall of Fame, class of 2025.
Okay, I have no problem talking to a group of like 20-year-olds, but this is new for me. But good evening. I wanted to take the opportunity to start with my gratitude for being here. What the heck? This is the most un-Tara thing ever in the entire world. Okay, thank you to the alumni committee and for making this all possible. Okay, I need a second. Okay, in 2010, you heard Coach Fisher talk about it, but our softball team, we were like top notch. It was amazing. We started the year, we studied Coach Wooden's Pyramid to Success, and whenever I look back on our World Series team going 53-6, and ending the season in the Final Four, what the heck is this? Okay, I'm so sorry. I took all my emotions from the past 15 years and they're all coming out right now. Whenever I look back on that year, I think of competitive greatness, which is defined as being your best when your best was needed, enjoyment of a difficult challenge. My team is gonna make so much fun of me for this, I'm just letting you know right now. Okay, Coach Wooden never mentioned being competitive in association with winning or being a great competitor in association with being a winner. It was not about winning or losing, it was a higher standard and the ability to be at your very best when your very best was needed. This was our team during my time at Metro. We pushed each other and we all expected greatness. Backtracking, just a little bit about myself. I wanted to start tonight with my story. When I was 5, I went with my mom, and she was signing my 14-year-old brother up for baseball. And I was like one of those very girly girls, gymnastics, ballet, bows, the works. And they asked if I wanted to play too, and I said, yeah, sure, and never looked back. I was never the kid growing up that stood out above everyone else, and I was pushed at a young age, which absolutely does not set me apart from other athletes, but I had a dream, and that included playing college softball. In high school, I was able to convince my parents to move across the state, and my sophomore year at Wheat Ridge High School, I got a taste of that competitiveness, success, and a state championship. I wanted to thank Coach Larson for being here tonight, for showing me what a program that has a winning tradition looks like, and for always expecting greatness out of his athletes, and for advocating for me always. I followed the D1 dream, ended up in Indiana. I played, made some lifelong friends, but once I realized I wasn't really going to be an engineer, I wanted more from the softball side of college. I wanted a coach that was going to push me, and I wanted to win. When I decided that I wanted to transfer and be closer to home, there were a few programs that piqued my interest, and I was looking at different RMAC schools just to kind of, like I said, be closer to home. I didn't know much about Coach Fisher at the time, but I knew girls on the team, people I'd played with and against my whole life, and I saw the offensive numbers they put up as a team in the 2008 season. And I remember having this conversation with my mom that if Coach Fisher could get these girls to put up these numbers, then I wanted to be a part of it. We met with Coach Fisher, Coach Becerra, Coach Milliken, and her 1-year-old baby at Einstein's on campus. They showed me around, and within a week, I committed, and I was a Roadrunner. We started practice that August, and I was coming from a D1, and I came in extremely cocky. I remember the first day of practice, we were outside right there. We were doing a leg circuit in full softball pants, softball shirt. Then we ran half miles, and then we ran 4-3-2-1s, and I learned very quickly a salami sandwich was not a good pre-practice meal. Sorry to Coach Becerra for that. I was humbled very quickly, but I craved the challenge. Coach Fisher always knew how to push us to be better, and being a part of this program had everything you could ask for as college athletes. We hit for hours every day, and it showed. We pushed each other in conditioning. We had each other's back when we were throwing, and even in bullpens, you saw, I was not catcher all the time, but Budge and I were pushing each other to see who could pop up faster on our pretend throwdowns that we were doing while we were catching for pitchers. If one of us hit a bomb, especially at Shadron State, the next person up would try to outdo her. We competed in who would get hit by the most pitches, who was faster in ladders, who could run out to their spot on the field the fastest. And we knew if one of us couldn't get it done, then the next one up could. And that is something that is so, so hard to come by as a coach now. It was a breath of fresh air, but it helped that we were surrounded by greatness on campus. You have the women's soccer team, the men's soccer team, men's basketball, all making it to the NCAA tournament, and everyone on campus wanted a part of that success. As a team, especially my senior year, that 2010 season, we were amazing. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to put up some of the numbers I did if I wasn't surrounded by some of the best softball players in Division II. We had a team ERA of 1.9, and the 2, 3, 4 hole hitters of our lineup combined for 61 home runs. That's 3 people hitting 61 home runs in 1 year. Yes. Our leadoff hitter was on base over half the time she came up to bat, and being successful was easy because if I had an off day, then there was another girl on the team that was on a 30-game hitting streak, and she would pick me up. Once we arrived in St. Joseph, Missouri for the 2010 World Series, we still had doubters. We never met some people, we had people we had never met that were talking about how we could only hit because we were from Colorado and the high altitude, and that's why our team had such great offensive numbers. And we went in there and we proved them wrong. We had a little bit of a punch, so we had to fight back the first round, and so we knocked out Wayne State the second game of the World Series in the losers bracket, and then we had a huge test against North Georgia. That team came into the World Series undefeated with the best pitcher in the nation. They scored first, we never backed down, and we ended up winning 4-1 and sending the #1 seed in the country home. In the current world of the transfer portal and the what can you do for me athletes, we came from a gritty place of second chances, opportunity, hard work, and pride for our program. From the women who came before me with the caution tape dugouts, to our team taking care of all our own everything, putting up the fences every weekend, moving the bleachers every game day, setting up and emptying our own trash cans, shoveling snow off the field and playing a doubleheader, to the dads helping with the field, to the boyfriends holding up the fence when the wind would blow, to my teammates who push me every day to do things I didn't think I was capable of doing, and the coaches who set the standard and held everyone to it no matter when people didn't like it. Thank you. There was so much behind the scene going on, and as a player, I had no idea that we were so ahead of our time. But the biggest gratitude to the people behind the scenes, Buzz, Mr. Coach Fisher, all the parents that helped us take down our fence every Sunday after games, Coach Becerra, Coach Millie, Coach Madrill, Coach Padge, Andy, Sandy, Dr. Friett, Elaine, Joan, Eric Lansing. I now, like I said, I'm a college coach, and in a world of like everyone's recruiting videos on YouTube, this is like the only proof that I was actually good at softball, and my team often trolls me, makes fun of me for my interviews from the World Series when I was up on stage like this, wide-eyed, and didn't know what I was doing. But we really couldn't have reached the heights we did as a program without all of the dedication that those people poured into what we were doing. Coach Van, thank you for giving me the opportunity to coach here and be a part of the tradition in 2015 and 16, and for continuing the tradition of excellence we started all those years ago, and for always feeding Clark animal crackers through the fence during our games. Coach Fisher, thank you for taking the chance on me and for pushing me outside my comfort zone and for continuing to be a mentor after all these years. To my teammates, who most of them couldn't make it tonight, but you know, why they're all wives, mothers, all those fun things. Thank you to B. Moss for being here for me tonight. Thank you for having confidence in me, for knowing that we had each other's backs always, and for the friendships and for 2 of the greatest years of my life. The biggest thank you to my parents for always being there, for supporting this crazy softball dream. Gosh dang it. Thank you to my mom for doing literally everything for me always having a cooler of food for myself, for the team, for driving us to every tournament, buying us all the equipment, and most importantly, giving me the opportunity to live out this dream. Thank you to my sister for having to grow up as the Tara Mickelson's little sister, and for not letting that define for you who you are, and for finding your own path outside of others' expectations. Thank you to my husband, Steve, for supporting the softball dream of mine from day one, still supporting it to this day, and always showing up with Gatorade. And thank you for all my family who's here tonight. They're literally right here. To my 4 boys, Clark, Davis, Gibson, and McKinnon. I hope that one day you find something that you love and you can pour your heart into. Congratulations to the other inductees tonight. I'm so proud of the rich history of MSU Denver athletics. I am honored to be considered in this circle, and I have the utmost respect at the lengths that everyone goes to celebrate the accomplishments of those that have come before you. Thank you for continuing the excellence, and I'm proud to be a Roadrunner.